I hear that next year's location is back to 75.
Last chance tour train. I'm your engineer, Buffalo Brian. Together we'll be roaming around Montana's capital city together for the next hour. So sit back, relax. We've got a lot of interesting things to take a look at. Please stay seated at all times during the tour. As we travel around, I'll be pointing out things to the right and left of the train. Try to give you enough lead time so you can see what's coming up. For starters, we'll make a loop around the Capitol complex where I'll point out a few buildings along the way. Then we'll travel across the gulch and look at the mansions on the west side of town, where I'll tell you about some of the folks who originally lived in them. Hey, Jamie. Hey, we'll go up the gulch, learn about the early day mining history here in Helena. After that, we'll travel right by the edge of Helena National Forest. Make our way back here in about an hour. The gray granite building coming up to the right is the Veterans and Pioneer Memorial Building. It houses a lot of the artwork of Charlie Russell, who really did a great job of depicting early day life in Montana. For the last 2 years, it's been in a construction project. They expanded the size of it, scheduled to be open to the public this coming fall. It is the oldest state museum west of the Mississippi River. So far this year, we've got about an average amount of precipitation around the state. It's a little spotty. Some get a little bit more, some get a little bit less. But I know a lot of the farmers and ranchers are happy with their first cutting of hay, which usually happens around the 4th of July. Montana is #1 in the production of pulse crops, kind of a new crop for Montana, but they're like checked out. July and August are fair and rodeo time throughout Montana, since the 27th of July. To the right is the symbol of the pros of Bob Scriber bronze, originally made for the Pro Cowboy Rodeo Association over in Oklahoma City. Montana has a lot of row crop farms along the big rivers, the Yellowstone and the Missouri. Along central and eastern Montana, they grow a lot of sugar beets and field corn, which is chopped up and used for silage for cattle. Montana is barley country. Hot days, barley likes hot days and cool nights. Also, we are right in the middle of the barley belt, which would be Idaho, Montana, and North Dakota. The big export buyer of Montana copper is Mexico. North of Great Falls is the Golden Triangle country. They grow a lot of in bloom. Most of the boulevard trees around Helena are ash. To the right is the Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. Inside you'll find a display that has a 564-pound grizzly bear and a wild male turkey with a beard. They do have a lot of educational materials for children as well. To the right is the Justice Building. It houses the Montana Supreme Court as well as the Montana State Library, also known as the Joe Mazurek Building. He was our Attorney General for a number of years. Back to the left is the Department of Environmental Quality, also known as the Lee Metcalf Building. Now, Lee was a veteran and a sportsman and a U.S. Senator representing Montana back in the early 1960s.
All right.
He proposed a bill to Congress that eventually became known as the 1964 Wilderness Act that created lots of wilderness areas scattered all over the USA. Next, we'll take a little ride up the hill, go by the governor's mansion. Coming up to our left, the tall pine tree on the corner with the patchwork bark and long needles. That's a good example of our state tree, the ponderosa pine. The grizzly bear is our state animal, while the meadowlark is our state bird. Quite a popular state bird in many in the West in general. And coming up to the right is the governor's mansion. Built in 1959, it's been home to several of Montana's governors and their families. A little later in the tour, we'll travel by the original governor's mansion.
Are you taking video of everything?
We got all of our songbirds back from the south in May. There's only a couple kinds of birds that I know of that like to stick around here all winter. One would be the magpie, and of course its cousin the crow. I've got to tell you a little story about a couple of magpies. As I live just a few blocks away from here, and in my backyard is my dog Jed. He's a pretty smart dog. He's a blue check hound, but there's a couple of magpies that like to outfox him. As I'll feed Jed, and then here comes a bird, and one of them will pop right in the grass in front of his nose and hop around and squawk around and keep him entertained while the other ones around behind him eating his dog food. And they switch their act and off they go. Tall sloping peak is his chest. The sharp peak to the right of that is his nose. He's lying flat on his back, looking up in the sky.
But can we not say north, south, east, west? How about just like that way?
Just beyond the sleeping giant, that's where the Missouri River runs. That's the gates of the mountains area, named by the Lewis and Clark expedition. As they were coming up to Missouri, it appeared that a wall of limestone cliffs was going to block their way, but as they got closer, they found a passage through them. In their journals, they call the area the gates of the Rocky Mountains. The headwaters of the Missouri is not very far from Helena, only about 60 miles to the south, just outside of the town of Three Forks, and that is where the Madison, the Jefferson, and the Gallatin rivers all come together to form the headwaters of the Missouri. To the right is the Mitchell Building, named in honor of Sam W. Mitchell, who was the Secretary of State for 23 years.
But it's Department of Revenue, so it has to be me, guys.
They're meeting at the hotel today.
And the bell on the corner coming up to the right is a replica of the Liberty Bell, cast in France right after World War II. They made one for every state in the nation to help us celebrate our freedom. Ironically cast at the same foundry at the Statue of Liberty. Of course, that includes a lot of products, including beef, barley, wheat, timber, wool, and huckleberries. Who likes huckleberries? Yeah.
Can't afford
Coming in second economically is tourism, followed by mining. A lot of coal mining over in eastern Montana. And most every night we hear a big coal train rumbling through our town and heading to the west coast and then off to China. China buys a lot of Montana coal. China buys a lot of Montana wheat. And to the left is the Capitol building. It's of a neoclassic design. It's made of native sandstone from Columbus, Montana, down along the Yellowstone River country. The dome is made of Montana copper from Butte, and the statue on top of the dome represents Lady Montana. Cornerstone of the building was laid July 4th, 1889, and it was completed 10 years later. Beautiful flower bed in front, now in full bloom. Each year it spells out Montana. Also has the state's entire state area code of 406.
Yep, 406.
Take a look at the statue of the horseman. He represents General Thomas Francis Marr, who was one of our first residential territorial governors. Quite an interesting man, born and raised over in Ireland. As a young man, he fought in the Irish Army against the British, ended up getting himself captured, and the Queen sent him to a penitentiary over in Tasmania. After a few years, he broke out of jail, and he came to the United States during the 1860s, as that was the start of the Civil War. And he went to New York, and he formed the Irish Brigade out of New York, literally recruiting Irish immigrants as they came down the gangplank at the harbor. They fought valiantly. He was later considered to be a war hero.